Brian Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
It's DBU on 312, and it is a Monday after an eventful weekend. If Illinois is going to win a national men's college basketball championship, it better be this year. I don't think under Brad Underwood, your Fighting Illini are ever going to have a better opportunity. I can't envision it. I can't envision the path setting up like it is for Illinois ever again. I know that the D. Brown, Darren Williams team was in the finals, and you can say what you want about Bruce Weber with Bill Self's players or however you want to describe that, but this is it. And in this space, I want it to be clear, in this space, we mentioned months ago that this team had the bones of a Final Four team.
Yeah,
and they
certainly
did.
You certainly did say that. So yeah, I want to make sure you mention that to give you your credit and props on that, because you did say that months ago that they had the structure, they had the bones for a Final Four team. I saw some recent criticism online of the path in which they got to where they are now.
Hey,
again, not your fault.
No apologies.
Go out and win the games that you got to play, and that's what they did.
Yep.
They looked great against VCU. They looked unstoppable against VCU. They had a very competitive game to get to this Final Four. And here on Saturday, they'll play against UConn to get an opportunity to play the championship game. That's all you can ask for.
And we are brought to you on DBU in partnership with my Chicago Window Guys and Giordano's. But the bracket is going to be what it is. You never, ever have to apologize for the teams you have to go through to get where you want to go. That it's out of your control, and you never see it written after the fact. You never see some of these outcome biased for losses saying, well, they didn't know. Of course they lost. They had no idea it was going to be in this bracket or set up this way. If somebody is trying to take away from somebody's victory by saying, well, they got defeated and they should have beaten this team, I always bring this up. I never hear Bears fans complaining about the New England Patriots upsetting the Miami Dolphins and the Bears beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I never, ever hear anybody complaining about that, because nobody cares.
Yeah, so, they're one game away from getting to the finals, and they have an opportunity to play either Arizona or Michigan. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's two things that really stood out to me in watching these tournament games about Illinois. Wagler and Stojakovic. Their off the ball defense is really impressive. Like, I really didn't watch it as closely during the regular season, but watching these tournament games, the way they shadow the guys they're defending and the way they move around screens and picks, their off the ball defense is really impressive. I don't know if you've noticed that with those two guys and the way they guard the guys that they're defending. It's really impressive. Really impressive how they play off the ball D.
Well, all of them work very hard. The work ethic of this team is tremendous, and they must practice really well too, because you don't look like that in games unless you look like that in practice. This team, other than Wagler, this team's got a lot of other professional players out there, as I've mentioned, not necessarily NBA. But there's a lot of guys who are right on that fringe, right on that level of getting, if they're right place, right time, they could be NBA, or they're going to make a lot of money overseas for a lot of years. There's a lot of talent. It's a great way to build a college basketball team, because sometimes you get more years out of some of these guys than you otherwise would, just because of how it takes them a little longer to develop. But here's what's critical. What is key about this team this year so far, this Illinois team has been leading by enough when it matters most to keep it from being a coaching matchup. And as I mentioned, the same thing, you're saying you're giving me credit for noting that Illinois had a good chance of being a Final Four team. I also said that the limiting factor in my belief of their ability to win a title would be, can Brad Underwood match wits with his counterpart? Mm-hmm. Can he play a late chess game against his counterpart? Because we've seen some bad coaching in this tournament. We've seen the guys I like, the nice guys, are finishing last. To quote Leo DeRocher. Fred Hoiberg? What's say, Fred? How about having enough players on the floor, Fred?
Yeah,
John Shire?
That's bad.
John Shire, hey, those drum beats are getting loud in Durham because you got every resource. You got every dollar. You got every player. You got every facility. You got everything you want. You are the anointed choice of Mike Krzyzewski. And apparently, Krzyzewski left the old tournament game coaching starter kit there for you. Throw that out. Throw that away. Because that was
a real ugly
collars
finish.
Getting tight there.
That was a really ugly finish yesterday.
And it wasn't just Caden Boozer who's going to live with that dumbass turnover for the rest of his life.
Well, how about,
no matter what his coach says.
Brother with the turnover with a minute to go.
Brother throwing it off his foot and just vomiting the ball up to the opponent. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like also. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it clearly. Cameron Boozer is not a can't-miss NBA great. He is a certain NBA good. He's got a very high floor. He's going to be a good NBA player, but he can't jump. Cameron Boozer cannot jump. And I want you to find for me the number of guys who were below the rim college players who went on to great success professionally. He is a below the rim college player. He is getting the ball underneath and he's pump fake, waiting, reaching. And some of these shots that he's making look pretty spectacular. He reaches his hand out. He's got great ability to spin the ball off the backboard with either hand. Terrific moves, but he is a below the rim college player. And you can't adapt to that in the NBA. There's no quarter for you in the NBA. There are big, angry people waiting to swat that shit into the third row. And they'll stand there while you make those pump fakes up and down and up and down. If you're going to be a below-the-rim player, you got to be like Domantas Sabonis, who is an example of that sort of – that's as good as you can be. You know, you can be a Hall of the Very Good for a long time level player. When you're not a good athlete, you better be enormous and be that kind of passer. And Boozer is a good passer, and he's got good handles, and he's got a decent shot. He's that first step's quick enough, but he can't get off the ground at all, and that is going to stand in his way. But so there's so much going on, but that's a choke of chokes again.
That's a choke of chokes. You saw the stat, right? You saw the stat?
About after what happened last year with Duke? Or
no.
The fact that no number one seed has ever had that big a lead going into a second half and lost? It's like they're like 134-0?
134-0 with a 15-point halftime lead. Now, again, a lot of those games were going to come against 16 seeds and 8 or 9 seeds. You know, you're not talking. That's not a big number when you're looking at playing against number 2 seeds, but still a stat that's out there, 134-0 with a 15-point or more lead at halftime. That was the first loss. Now, again, a lot of 16s, a lot of 8s, a lot of 9-seed teams you're going to see in that stat if you were to break it down. But to lose that game in the fashion they lost, that's a significant, massive choke job. And it's like what are you hearing or what did you read or see about his job security? Because that's one right there that wouldn't surprise me because that is not a game they should have lost. Yeah, they should be playing Illinois on Saturday in the Final Four.
I've not heard anything that's imminent because of the fact that you would have. I think at some point at Duke that you'd have to almost get Krzyzewski's permission. I don't know how that would work. If the politics of this resulted in Shire being the chosen anointed one, as long as Mike Krzyzewski is walking this earth, I don't think that the collective, I don't think the alums, I don't think the board of trustees, I don't think you're moving anything without his blessing. And Krzyzewski is nothing if not stubborn. And, you know, for a guy whose whose coaching tree has been his sort of de facto sons, that would be like firing Mike's son at this point.
Yeah.
And you are not going to make a move unless he allows it to happen. And I just don't see that happening at the moment. I really don't.
How about just going back real quick too to that Illinois Houston game and that scouting I gave you on that game, because you asked about that weeks ago. About what it was going to take for Illinois to beat Houston.
And you said that they weren't the defensive team they used to be.
Yeah.
I will say I was shocked at how disorganized they were offensively and how they walked right into everything that Illinois wanted them to do when they wanted CNAC to take some of those baseline 18-footers. If you're telling me that some of the best shots that Houston could get were contested twos by their second, third, fourth best player on the floor, that means your defense is real good. And I think, dare I say, Kelvin Sampson was out-coached by Brad Underwood in that game.
Well, that almost came to roost then too when you're talking about Brad Underwood in that Iowa game, because that was I thought Iowa played, and of course Sturtz. I mean, you're not going to ask for a better game out of a kid shooting the ball like he did, but I thought Iowa played Illinois really, really well and forced them into what they wanted them to do. But
they're also, you know what? They're just way more talented and way bigger.
Illinois is, yeah, and that's why Illinois was able to pull that game
they're
out.
Huge.
Iowa forced them into what they wanted them to do, but because you are bigger and you are more talented, they cleaned up on the boards and they were able to overcome that amazing shooting by Iowa. That was a game that I did not expect to see going that route as it did.
Yeah, if you can't win that game, if you're Iowa, and if they say, look, here are what you're gonna get. Here's the shooting, you would have said that's a win. But that just tells you how good Illinois is.
Yeah, they play so well defensively. They clean up the boards offensively and defensively. Really, just a really fun team to watch. I love watching Boswell play. He's going to have to do a little bit of scoring here against UConn on Saturday. His defense is just exceptional. If they can get their big men to score and not get into like a 10-0, 12-0 start like they have the last couple games, let's roll from the start and get that game going. Yeah,
but if it's close, you're going to lose.
Dan, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. It's not going to be a double-digit win. It's going to be a very close game. UConn takes care of the ball better than Illinois does. Illinois takes care of the ball really, really well. Obviously, they're a top 5 team as far as turnovers committed. But the way UConn's played in this tournament, they're going to take care of the ball. They're going to steal the ball a little bit more. But where Illinois is going to have the advantage again is that size. They're going to have the advantage inside to clean up the boards, both ends.
Well, the size and the fact that they've got a guy who can match Karaban, where Alex Karaban is their beating heart and his effort. But Mirkovic is exactly that guy. Like they're so similar, and Mirkovic might even be a little bit better, but they're very similar players in a lot of respects and what they mean to their respective teams. So to me, in a lot of ways, though, as they go, so their teams are going to go. Mirkovic is he's a stone ass bitch, man. He is a baller. No, he is a baller, and he's unselfish. Guy does whatever is needed, always around the ball. He can defend without fouling. I really like watching him play. I like watching this Illinois team play.
I do too.
They've got a little bit of everything, and I also think because Iowa played so patiently and deliberately, it's a reasonable preparation for UConn, much more so than it would have prepared them for Duke, because Duke's going, and they got everybody who can fly down the court, and it's part of why they lost. It's part of why they lost, because Caden Boozer saw his two teammates open, and even though there were two guys on him, rather than just standing there and holding the ball and getting fouled,
I know,
he
dude.
jumped in the air, because that's how they play. Go. Illinois proved that they could hang in there with multiple recoveries, help and recovery, rotate, recover, switch your guys back. That's not easy to do with this damn 35-second shot clock that drives me absolutely crazy. I hate it. I hate the 35-second shot clock. Go to a normal shot clock and play real basketball, please.
Oh,
But
you haven't been to a high school game then in a while, have you?
No, thank you.
Oh,
No,
dude, not
no.
having a shot clock, it infuriates me.
No,
It
thank
drives
you.
me insane.
Yes, I know. It's hard enough for me to watch. Like, I had to turn on a Bulls game just to get the college taste out of my mouth after a while.
Boy.
I mean, seriously.
Come
It's
on.
like,
It's
I
not
did.
that- It's been so much fun to watch.
I know it is, but they miss so many shots. It's just so many missed shots, and the possessions are so long, and
Yeah.
it's just they're just. I get my fill of white basketball real fast, and like I the whole corn pone college stuff with Iowa and Nebraska and Iowa State was out there. Oh, here's my other theory. I have a proposal, and it is this. We don't need both Bennett Sturtz and Braden Smith. We don't need both of them. So I want you to pick one. Either we are merging them into one.
I think that's the most fair route to go.
That we're combining Bennett Sturtz and Braden Smith into Brainit Smirts. Okay?
Yes.
Brainit Smirts.
How about just B Smirts?
Nope.
Okay.
It's gonna have to combine Braden and Bennett, Brainit or Branit Smirts.
I like Brandon Smirts. Okay.
We're gonna squeeze them into one person just for efficiency's sake.
It sounds like something you'd make your kitchen countertops out of.
Branit Smirts?
Yes.
Oh, I know, it's all the rage. It really is. Because it's you can cut on it. It's great, and it doesn't it doesn't conduct heat. It's really inexpensive. Unlike having to dig something up, they can make this stuff in a lab. But that is, we don't need both of them. And I used to be tougher about these things. I used to say that we had to decide which person would be eliminated. But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, let's merge them together. I don't want to eliminate
technology.
anybody. Yes,
right. I think this is the third time I've done this. I did this years ago when the NFL had punters Leo Aragus and Louis Aguiar. I said we didn't need punters named Leo Aragus and Louis Aguiar, and we merged them into Lou Agagus. And I think we did the same thing in college basketball with Pat Garrity and Matt Harpring. I think we made Matt Harpity. So same thing.
So now we have Brandon Smirts.
Brandon Smirts is that will cover both of those players for their entire future. But hey, this is a hell of a weekend, man. There was some really and boy, Michigan, Illinois if they're not going to beat them 10 times out of 10. But they can beat them 3 times out of 10.
Yeah. No, Dan. I mean, Illinois can win the national championship.
Oh yeah, they can. And
so the final
point is
games
they better do it now. They better do it this year. Is
this his 9th season, Brad Underwood?
I think that's right
with Illinois.
But
it's been 9 years already.
But it wasn't just like when you see nobody saw Keaton Wagler emerging like this.
Right.
No one saw him becoming something that doesn't play quite the way the other guys do. That's got this great demeanor to his game, a one-on-one ability to go foul hunting. He's got to get a little better at that though. Either finish or evince the foul. Get to the damn line because you're going to need that late. And that's what I don't know if they have. I don't know that they can win close and late. They haven't had to show that yet. And all these overtime losses throughout the season, that Brad Underwood, prove it to me in this game or the national championship. Win close and late because you're ready for it and you're ahead of the game and you've got your timeouts and you've got your matchups. I don't know what he was doing at the end of the first half with the fouling and like racking up fouls on his guys for no reason, only go into the half down 2. There were too many odd things that were going on with his. The two guys I'm going to doubt until they prove it Brad Underwood and John Shire. Because, look, that
was a terrible loss yesterday.
That was, and did you hear the Duke broadcast? Did you hear the Duke radio broadcast?
I didn't. No,
man, all like complaining about the UConn player had run on the court. It should have been a technical, like, and they were absolutely getting dunked on social media too.
And they had a 15-point lead. They gave that game away in the second half. It's not about kid running on the court.
No, it's not about anything. But immediately they turned Karen on the broadcast.
Oh boy.
I'd like to speak to your manager about this. It was
you have Saturday, UConn and Illinois, the early game, 5:09. Arizona takes on Michigan in the later game. We'll talk more about them, of course, as the week goes through as well.
We will, and I'm sorry that I haven't mentioned Arizona yet because there's a lot of players on that team too. They're tough. They are tough. And I'm also starting to think, as a Bulls fan, there are more guys in this draft that I like. I know I'm souring a little bit on Cam Boozer. I don't know if other scouts are feeling that way or other teams are feeling that way as well, because I don't like a below the rim college player in the NBA as much as I like some of these guys who can actually jump. But I'll tell you something. Isaiah Evans is going to be good. I think Braden Burry's going to be real good. These guards who are willing to rebound, I like that too. There are some players who it's clear that who the top three are. Look, DeBonsa is one of one in my book. That's it. DeBonsa is the guy. I have no idea about Peterson. I don't know how he is mentally or physically. And it's almost like I don't feel that I've gotten a complete look at him in the games that I've watched, because there haven't been enough games, enough situations. So the Peterson workouts are going to be huge. The individual workouts, the interviews, understanding where he is with his physical and mental health and and the Bulls do. Their physical health stuff is questionable. Their mental health stuff has been good. We talked about this on OWC. Jason and I were talking about what they did to help Andre Drummond, to help DeMar DeRozan, and to have that side of things. It might be a nice spot if they trade up, or if Darren Peterson makes it down to them because of team's worries. He won't, but we don't know exactly if the Bulls are going to luck into, say the fourth pick or something like that. But there are people to watch in this tournament. And the other guy in Arizona, what's his name? Kucherkakov. Who's the big Russian guy? I was calling him Kucherkakov all weekend, but Karcher.
I want to hear that name drafted.
I'm sorry, yeah, but I to me he's Kucherkakov, but he's quicker than I thought. He is got a very quick first step. I think Koa Pete's an NBA player. Burry's clearly is, and they're very well coached. And they keep coming with you. They bring the other big dude off the bench, and there's some good coaching going on now. There's been some bad coaching as well, and those guys are out. But I generally don't get hyped about college basketball all that much. But somebody's going to need a big day against Michigan. Illinois could be that team.
So that's Ivan Karchenkov. Okay, Ivan Karchenkov.
I think that's right.
6'7".
Yep. Oh, don't even start me with the 6'7" shit. Getting the people are still doing it. Still. When is that over?
It's not going to be over because old guys like you keep doing it.
When is it over? 6'7". God. I'm breaking a Napoleon Dynamite.
All right, Napoleon. Yeah.
Idiot. This is the games are getting really interesting. We know that, and this time of year is great. What should not be a question is your game day food. If you're watching these games at home with friends, whatever, you need something that actually delivers, and that's why I go with Giordano's, and you should too, because the full lineup is there for you. Chicago deep dish if you want something loaded, tavern-style pizza cut into squares. I think that's redundant. Tavern-style pizza is cut into squares. Thin crust, want to keep it classic. Then you can add in wings. I prefer the regular Buffalo style wings. They're awesome. Cookies, game day deals. Then you got that real spread. You're not scrambling around at halftime. There's no bad last minute decisions. It is just food that shows up the way it's supposed to. And these games, they might be unpredictable, shall we say, but your setup shouldn't be and doesn't have to be. So order delivery now at giordano's.com. Or visit a Giordano's location near you for pickup and grab that perfect game day spread. Game day deals are happening right now at Giordano's. Your bracket may bust. Mine has. Your pizza shouldn't. If you already have listened to Off the Ivy, you know how we feel about the Cubs weekend. And if you're new, hey, whoa, what's Off the Ivy? Last week, we began a daily, Monday through Friday, Cubs pod here on 312 Sports called Off the Ivy, a Chicago Cubs podcast. Cody Del Mendo, Matt Abaticola, and me will start the morning posting all your things Cub, just a daily check-in for you with everything that's going on. And I mentioned then that I was going to use some space here to just talk about what the big picture is with these very team-friendly and long-term signings. The fact that Nico Hoerner got his no-trade clause, the fact that PCA just wants to be here as long as he does, and Hoerner wants to be here as long as he does, and you've got Bregman who is signed, you've got your shortstop Dansby Swanson who is signed, you've got a commitment to a core. And in today's day and age, with what you've been through as a Cub fan, it is not a small thing. And I kept thinking into the context of the possibility of a work stoppage, probability of a work stoppage. There will be a lockout in the winter, and then we'll see how long it lasts. But it's likely that some games could be missed. You hope a whole season isn't missed. You hope that the cooler heads are able to work out an equitable deal for all involved. But knowing that on the other side of that, whatever it is, you know your team. Mm-hmm. How about that? Like just the security of that. And cynically, this is where I was last week, taking sort of the cynical perspective of the marketing department, like knowing who you can put on posters and T-shirts and using TV ad campaigns. And the faces of this team aren't going anywhere for a while. But even from a perspective that isn't as cynical, just from your perspective as a fan, you know your team. However long a work stoppage is, it's still going to be your team. And it's a rare thing in sports to have a commitment to be able to watch these guys mature and age, and maybe they age past their prime ability. But as long as you're building up enough around them, around Bregman, Swanson, the late years of Hoerner, and then this is supplemented by ongoing star development. It's just it's a rare thing and a cool thing. You shouldn't have to celebrate it because we all, those of the Gen Xers, we all grew up with baseball teams. That was the core, and that's what it is, and that's who it was. Even in football, you had your quarterback, and if he was mid, it was still your quarterback, and it was the devil you knew. But I did not see Tom Ricketts deciding to commit $500 million to a core of players in one season, but he did.
He certainly did, and that was quite a surprise to see the extensions of PCA and Hoerner, which was great to see both. And as it lays out right now, Dan, you have your infield through 2029. Michael Busch is arbitration eligible. He becomes a free agent in 2030, so you have him through the 2029 season at whatever the minimum cost is. Right now, $750,000, $800,000. Miguel Amaya as well. PCA locked up through 2031. So your infield and up the middle from behind home plate through center field is locked up and will be like this, barring any injuries. These are your guys through 2029. That's what you have. Now, you can lock up Michael Busch, who's 27. You could extend him next year. Miguel Amaya, if he stays healthy, is a guy that you could also lock up he's only 27 years old. So you have a really significant core of players that are going to be here for the foreseeable future. And then what happens with Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki, if Happ is gone after this year, Suzuki is a free agent after this year. Those are pieces, components that you can find and build, but you're set around the infield and up the middle for the next several years.
On the other side of town, the story other than that epic meltdown yesterday, Munetaka Murakami,
Your guy.
White Sox slugger. And yeah, he can do that. The man has 3 home runs in 3 games. So what does that mean?
Oh, that's 162 for a season.
Very good.
That should be a record, I think.
I think that'd be a big number if he can do that.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So this is one of the reasons I love checking in with the Joe Sheehan newsletter, because a couple of graphs here. He said, I'll be the jerk who throws a little cold water on a terrific debut. Murakami has struck out in 4 of 13 plate appearances. His 3 fly balls have all gone out of the park. And one of those things is more likely to continue than the other. So I'm glad this work has been done here. We ask, what pitches did Murakami hit out of the park?
Fastballs.
One was a 92-mile-an-hour center cut fastball.
Okay.
One was a 91-mile-an-hour cutter, heart of the plate.
Mm-hmm.
The third was a 93-mile-an-hour cutter. And he said the questions about Murakami are about his ability to hit major league velocity. Those aren't being answered. The Brewers were curious whether Murakami could hit middling stuff poorly located, and presumably they're not anymore. Murakami saw 26 pitches over the weekend at 95 plus. He swung at 8 of them. 4 whiffs, 3 fouls, and a 1-3 ground out. So the questions about Murakami, about hitting major league velocity, are remaining. And as Joe said, call me when he hits 1 major league fastball out of the infield.
I mean, you can talk about his strikeout numbers, but at least he's not as bad as Bo Bichette starting in New York. Do you see his numbers?
It's a tough place to do it, isn't it?
He's 1 for 14 to start with 8 strikeouts, dude.
Yeah, I would, and
he got booed yesterday by the Mets fans.
Of course he did. And sports
radio.
radio.
Did you see his reaction?
Sports radio, there's probably throwing Molotov cocktails at his car.
Did you see what he said?
Metaphorically, what
he said? I'm surprised that it took this long for them to boo me.
Good for him.
Yeah, I was really, really happy he said it that way.
That's understanding it, right?
Yes.
That's getting it. So, yes, nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
If you need windows, Russ Armstrong is your guy. And we're transferring over to that time now where we want to hold the cool in the house. And the other thing, too, that I'm noticing, this is the period of time here where we go from hot to cold to hot to cold. It is a great time to open windows and get the fresh air in the house. So you want at least my new windows that Russ put in, they slide so nicely. I'm not fighting with them anymore. I'm not fighting with the locks. Everything glides because he put in all these brand new custom-made windows, just like he's going to do for you when you call him at 847-302-9171 and check out his 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com. It's all Russ, and it's his people. It's not like Big Window offering you these weird deals that sound too good to be true, because they are. And Russ will match any price that you get when you say, wait a second, buy one, get one free. Have Russ explain what that actually means when he sits down at your kitchen table and pulls out a pen and starts saying, hey, we can do this and we can do this and we'll match this and we can do this. And then he builds your windows. He makes them all at a factory here in Chicago, custom made for your home. So when you are talking to these other window places, ask who's installing your windows, and they'll say, I don't know, people. And Russ will tell you the names of the people who are installing your windows because it's his crew. So you have that peace of mind about the people in and around your house. As I mentioned, he'll match any price. Call him, 847-302-9171. Check out his 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com. Good to see you back, Maddie.
Well, it's good to be back, Dan. Yep. I'm very, very happy to be back. As much as I love being on vacation, I was excited to get back to doing some shows, but had quite the week in Turks and Caicos. I'll tell you something. This is something that Natalie signed us up for, and part of our trip. There was an option called Fast Track, and we landed at Turks and Caicos Airport, and there's a company that they greet you, and they do all of your immigration paperwork for you. And after everything's filled out, they take your passports and your immigration paperwork, and they take you outside of the line that people had to wait in. That's like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, that's fun.
And they get you to the very front.
It's
And you
worth
get
it.
oh, dude, you get your bags, and you have a big Escalade waiting for you, and they drive you right to your resort. Of all the trip we've done a lot of trips over the last several years together as a family, just Natalie and I. The absolute best money we've ever spent on a trip was paying for this fast track thing. Dude, it was awesome. So we did a fishing charter one day, which I know you would have loved. We did some trolling with some like big bait and big line looking for big barracuda. Did that for like an hour, nothing hit, and so the guys saw the mood of the kids on the boat, so they decided that we ditched that and went right to a reef.
I would have recommended that. I would have recommended light tackle reef fishing.
Yeah, and so we did that for several hours, and the boys were catching red snapper, yellowtail snapper, and jackfish like they wanted to come on the boat.
Yep.
They just started pulling them up, dude. It was great. I was doing some old school fishing. I just had line with a hook tied to it, was throwing it out into the water. Me and one of the guys on the boat. Yes.
Wow.
One of the guys was doing it on the boat.
The old man in the sea. Yeah, that's like you're fishing like the natives.
So I'm watching him and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this is old school. This is how I grew up fishing." And so he got me a big spool of line, and tied a hook on it, and I'm putting bait on it, just throwing it out there by hand. He caught like 3 fish that way. I didn't catch anything. I had multiple bites though, but it was really fun. So the fishing charter you would have loved. We did snorkeling, we did parasailing, we did tubing. The food at Beaches Resort was just unbelievable. They have a newer section that they built called Treasure Beach, and there was a food hall in this hotel. It was called Pinta Hall. It had Caribbean cuisine, Mexican, Italian, and Asian, and then a brick oven pizza. And so what you do is you sit down, and it's smaller plates, and you order from each cuisine, and then they start bringing food out to you, Dan. We had to I'll have to show you the picture next time I see you. Natalie took a picture of our table because there was so much food. I'm holding plates. We had plates like on the seats because there was so much food. I had a meal. Jackie, Hank, and I went there for lunch on I think a Thursday. I had a caprese salad with pesto and balsamic vinegar, and then just fresh mozzarella, heirloom tomatoes. You would have loved it. Marinated olives over a bed of whipped ricotta with crostini, dude. I thought of you that you would have loved that. The food was just great. There was a mac and cheese truck on the resort that we ate at pretty much every day. The kids could just walk up, order their own stuff, and yeah.
See, my thing on those vacations as a kid was always the ice cream. I would just follow the ice cream truck around.
So they had a frozen yogurt shop. So it was half coffee house, half frozen yogurt shop. We were there every day. The kids were there probably 2 or 3 times a day, getting frozen yogurt. Had snapper tacos, which were great on the beach. Had steak and eggs for breakfast pretty much every day.
Let's go.
There was like 3 different restaurants that did like a sit down menu for breakfast. Others were a buffet. And so I got steak and eggs 4 times during the week when I was there.
Did you exercise at all?
Well, dude, we were walking between like 18 and 20,000 steps a day.
Okay.
So we were moving a lot. But 3 of the restaurants did filet for their steak and the steak and eggs. The 4th one was a flat iron, which was great. What else did they have? Oh, there was 3 different brick oven pizzerias on the resort. So we had multiple pizza, which was good. A lot of mocktails. And there was Heineken Zero at every bar. So I was set. Even the swim bars had Heineken Zero, so I was good to go. One thing I did, though, I did something that you did on a previous trip with your wife.
Archery?
No, not archery.
Oh.
I forgot to pack something.
Yes, you're part of the club now.
I'm part of the club.
Part of the no undies club?
I forgot to pack underwear.
Yep, I did it in Paris.
So we're in the Beaches Resort in Turks and Caicos, and I'm unpacking, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm starting to panic, and I'm like, oh no, no, I didn't. And sure enough, yes, I didn't pack underwear. Yeah. So I went to the resort shop, and I wanted to, I was like, she's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I don't know. maybe I don't know. Maybe they have Speedos, and I'll buy like a Speedo.
That's true. If you're at an all-inclusive, it's not like you can just walk down the street and buy what you need. When I was in Paris, like, what am I going to do? And I think it was Zoe who points out. She goes, "Dad, there's a Gap literally, across the street. Go to the Gap." Like,
so you went to the Gap.
That's what I'm going to do. Yep.
I went to the resort shop, and they had these things. They were little packages by all the medical supplies and stuff, all the aspirin and. They're called emergency
diapers,
emergency underpants. No, it's like one pair of boxer briefs and 2 wipes that come with it.
Emergency underpants.
It was like in case you forget underwear or you have like an accident. So in case you shit your pants,
those. I should have those with me all the time.
You really should get a package for your carry it in your bag with you.
Endorse those, yeah.
So I had to buy some of those to wear. Luckily, I mean, you're at a beach and a pool all day long, so it wasn't like I needed a whole bunch. But yeah, so I forgot underpants, and I immediately thought of you and your trip.
Right.
I thought it was Paris. I remembered correctly.
It was. You're part of the club. Welcome to it.
So this is what's crazy too. The start of the trip starts off with my father passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. Thank you. So we get there Friday, Sunday morning, and he's been sick, and like I've been waiting for my brother who's there with him daily for that phone call. So. It happened Sunday morning. So he's better off. He wasn't doing well for a long time. And then my grandson, my first grandchild, was born the next day.
I didn't even know how to react to your text. I don't think I'll ever again get a text from anybody I care about that says, "Hey, how's it going? My grandson was born and my father died." So I think I was
I was
congrats
texting
and
you
I'm sorry. Like, what the hell am I supposed to text back to that?
I was texting you to share the news about my grandson because I was super excited.
Yes.
And then I know I
yes.
paired it up there for you. Like, hey, my grandson's born. My dad passed away. How's the week going?
I was like, hey,
I know.
Looking at my phone, like, what am I supposed to do?
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. My dad and I, we had a interesting, complicated relationship over the years as I was an adult. So, but yeah, I'm relieved for him because he has been doing well for a while, and then for the fact that my grandson is born healthy, 8 pounds 5 ounces. Abigail's doing good, and they're just kind of trying to adjust to life now with having a newborn. As I don't know if you possibly can adjust.
No,
it's
it's
you hop on that ride and it flows whether you want it to or not. So it was quite the week. Just a great trip. And if you ever have a chance or you think about Turks and Caicos for a trip, beaches is huge. There's multiple resort names. So like we were in French Village was the name of our hotel, and it's like the furthest away from all the activity, which is why we chose it. Like the heart, of course, is the heart and soul of all the activity is the Italian Village, my people. There's also there was Key West Village, there's Caribbean Village, and there's this new one, Treasure Beach, which just opened, which, I just looked ahead for next year, not that we're going, but it's already sold out like a year from now. Yeah. So it's quite the place. And the hospitality, the food is just great. 25 different restaurants on the resort, but we had perfect weather, dude. It was in the upper 70s and humidity was like 60%, 60 to 65%. So it was perfect.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
A couple of notes here that from over the weekend that I found interesting that I think you may as well. I've been following, as you know, the saga of Michael Jordan's Highland Park mansion, right off of Route 22, up near where I grew up, and it started out at $30 million. There were some reports initially that it was over $40 million. It started out that Jordan was seeking $30 million. And this is more than a decade ago. So whatever that money would be now with inflation, it's 8.4 acres and it's 37,700 square feet.
That's insane.
And it's not really usable for anything other than being Michael Jordan's house. It's all kind of designed for people of his height. There's cigars. It's totally dated, and they couldn't sell it until they dropped the price all the way down to $9.5 million.
That's crazy also. I mean, from 30 to 9.5.
Yeah. And so the guy who bought it, if you remember, John Cooper Mellencamp, the guy who bought it, first tried to make it into an Airbnb. That was the pitch. That was, for $250,000 for a week, you can stay in Michael Jordan's house and have a bachelor party there during the tournament and watch basketball games. And that didn't really sell. So now he's wondering why he threw even $9.5 million at this completely useless property. So here's the next step. His new concept that this has been pitched to Highland Park local government. He wants to rename it Champions Point. And this is going to be what he says is converted into a museum. He envisions tours of the mansion and its surrounding property as a way for people, quote, to have introspection. Quote, they can look inside themselves and think about what does it mean to be a great person? Am I living that life right now? And if not, what could take me from there to here? I want people to leave this experience better than they came.
Wrong house, bro.
Well, this is the best part. He can't directly refer to Michael Jordan because of trademark or right of publicity claims. So it has to be this nebulous idea about greatness by walking through a house. So this house had sat on the market for more than 12 years. The plan is aimed at minimizing its impact on the neighborhood. He wants people to park at the Heller Nature Center and that visitors access the property from a path extending south. Visitors will park off-site and take buses to Heller Nature Center. He said, I don't want to disrupt the character of the neighborhood or my neighbors. Good luck with these neighbors. I want to be able to do this in a way that isn't disruptive and actually gives back a lot. He is proposing removing Jordan's uniform number from the south gate of the property, which he believes would lessen the number of visitors on the street. He believes the property would attract 300 to 500 visitors per day.
Oh, God, no.
It wouldn't even attract 3 to 5.
It'd be lucky for a year to get that many.
He's proposing free admission to all Highland Park residents for the first year, annual field trips for free for every Highland Park public and private school student, a pilot curriculum for use in Lake County public high schools, 48 days per year of donated use for youth and community programming, and the creation of new local jobs. Okay, put simply, no, and no, you messed up.
Yeah.
You spent $10 million on this thing. It's not of use to anybody. You're paying a ridiculously high tax bill for this. So you own it, keep paying the taxes on it, and that's going to help the Highland Park schools more than a tour of the house.
Right,
just you paying the taxes.
Right.
But this is a big old no from a business perspective. It is a no from a community perspective. And whatever you envision this being when you bought it, you screwed up. Take the L.
All right, this is perfect because it leads right into a question I wanted to ask you. So,
yes,
on my trip over the last week, every time I spoke to a local, whether it was through the fishing charter or people that are working on the resort,
they said Chicago Michael Jordan.
So, yeah, there were three things that were said to me, Dan. When people asked me where I'm from, there were two things that were said most commonly, and then there was a third thing that one guy said that was it. There was one response. Where are you from? Chicago. What are the things that they would say?
Can I guess?
Yeah, guess.
Italian beef / the bear.
No, you said one right there. You had
Michael
one already.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan was said. The second thing that was most commonly said was
William Refrigerator Perry.
No. The second thing was the Chicago Bulls. So it was Michael Jordan or Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
So where are you from? Chicago. Oh, Chicago Bulls. Mm-hmm. Oh, Michael Jordan. The third thing. So seriously, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying. Every person said
Do
one
you
of
know
those
Mike North?
Every person said those two things, either the Chicago Bulls or Michael Jordan, but one guy said one other thing. Can you guess what someone from another country would think about Chicago?
Okay. Was it sports related?
It was not sports related.
Was it local politics related?
No.
City government in any way?
No.
Weather related?
Not weather, no. But you're on the right track in Chicago.
Have to do with like the windy city, something about wind?
No.
Does it have to do with the arts, the bean?
No, no arts.
Architecture. Nothing arts, nothing politics. Entertainment?
Nope. I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
Crime.
Oh, murder.
Okay, you're on the right track. So
it had to do Al Capone, Valentine's Day Massacre.
What did he call Chicago?
He called Chicago I don't know, the Blues Brothers. What?
Chirac.
Oh, great.
Yes. So everybody, seriously, 2 responses were given: Michael Jordan or Chicago Bulls, except one guy. We're doing the tubing for the kids. It's a big inflatable, looked like a big inflatable couch. Mm-hmm. So all 4 boys are on the tube at one time, and they're getting pulled. And so one guy comes off the boat. Natalie goes on the boat to take pictures.
Did you do parasailing?
We did parasailing. I was on the boat for parasailing. Got great pictures of the boys parasailing.
Okay, they didn't slam into a side of a building or anything like
no,
Cancun.
No, there's no buildings in the middle of the ocean. But luckily,
good.
I checked that for sure.
Good.
So the guy comes off the boat, and him and I are standing on the beach, and we're talking, and we start chatting. Really nice young kid, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Chicago." And he goes, "Oh!" And in my brain, I'm like, "All right, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, Chirac." First different thing that I heard all week. So it was either Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, which I thought was really funny that those are the 2 most common things, and then the third one was being Chirac, but that was only one comment. All right, so just looking at our busted brackets, Dan. So as far as you, me, and Cody are concerned, I don't know how the points work, but Cody has 74, I have 73, you have 72.
Well, okay.
So we're all there competitive with each other. I think I had Duke also winning, so let's see what Cody, if he can keep this lead.
Who's leading the bracket, though?
So our top 10 leaderboard, James Brunke. He's number 1 with he has 100.
Not
so
again,
James, I don't know.
Not the James Brunke.
I don't know how the points work, but he has 100. Also, Carl Engemann has 100.
Okay.
And then from there it goes 96, 95, 95, 95, 94, 94, 94. So yeah, the listeners, our community of friends, just kicking our asses.
All right, leave it to the firm of Brunke and Engerman to be topping all of us. Nicely done, gentlemen. Keep it up. Can I leave you with something terrifying? May I?
If you have to.
Okay.
I don't want to be terrified. I'm really good. I'm in a really good place. I came home from vacation. I'm happy. I'm good.
All right, but you're gonna have to deal with this because I need to inject this into the bloodstream here.
Oh no.
This was reported by CNN, but I'm sure elsewhere. I just have the copy here. A small amount of antimatter took to the road last week.
Oh no.
Representing the first time any quantity of the world's most expensive, volatile, and rare substance has been moved. The breakthrough opens the door to new possibilities for the study of the elusive material. Antimatter is the mirror image of regular matter. It has an opposite electric charge and reversed subatomic properties. When matter and antimatter come into contact, they annihilate each other and disappear in a flash of energy. As a result, antimatter is at the core of one of our universe's greatest mysteries. That is, the Big Bang should have created equal amounts of matter and antimatter, leading to either a universe with no matter left at all due to total annihilation, or a universe with equal amounts of both. Our universe, however, consists of matter but almost no antimatter, which exists naturally only in small quantities, created by radioactive decay and the collisions of cosmic rays. Physicists call this problem the matter-antimatter asymmetry. Studying this can help scientists understand the nature of this asymmetry, but doing so isn't easy because the instruments used to make antimatter create interference that hinders its study. It's a common problem in science of your actual instruments of study affecting the study itself. So transporting antimatter away from this interference would allow scientists to take measurements of the substance more accurately. And I'm looking at a picture of the container that they had to use to transport the antimatter.
Well, this doesn't sound like a good
It
sign.
had to be kept stable with a powerful vacuum and magnets operated at negative 470 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 268 degrees Celsius.
That's cold.
The antimatter transport took place at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN. You've seen it before, the site of the world's largest particle physics laboratory. He said the facility is producing fluctuations. He said it's like looking through a microscope. The object you're looking at is vibrating. The picture gets blurry. Transporting particles out of this environment will enable us to obtain much sharper pictures. So a truck moved the cargo over a 6-mile route within the CERN facility, taking 30 minutes in this specially constructed container. You've got to see this thing. It weighs 1,760 pounds. It measures 6 feet tall, and it successfully moved a payload of 92 antiprotons. It appears to be something that would have been at home in Ghostbusters. They're calling it a portable penning trap. And it looks like an aluminum box with the black and yellow hazard tape on it. Like you remember when Dan Aykroyd's character is walking out of the hotel ballroom,
Yeah.
and he's holding up the trap, and it's hissing and shaking and steaming, and he's like a free roaming vapor, real nasty one too. This one is significantly bigger than that, but looking at the wires sticking out and the tape and the fact that some panels seem to be missing from it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm seeing a picture.
The portable penning trap.
Yeah.
I thought it would be something a little cooler looking.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, you can't do this unless it's guarded by Thor or Hulk.
No, there's just dudes in just hard hats. That's
I
it.
know. It's just hard hat dudes look like they're begging for a supervillain to show up with what vibranium and be like, yeah, we're taking that because that's the Tesseract or that's the antimatter, and now we're going to go do horrible things with it at our moon base or our secret lair in the side of a mountain. But don't move this stuff around without the help of Thor or Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, you need the Avengers.
Somebody. I just this worried me. Apparently, we're hearing about this after the fact, and everything so far was okay. But if you are rooting for something horrible to happen and swallow us all up and take us to whatever's next,
That's it.
It might not just be the Yellowstone caldera or the great meteor of death. It might just happen right here over at CERN, where they're deciding to move 92 antiprotons around.
Yeah, they take it to a lake somewhere, and the lake just like evaporates and goes, and then like a door opens, and then they go to their secret lair. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like something you should be doing, moving antimatter.
No, but it's have a good day at work, honey.
Yeah, what are you doing today?
Yeah, you're like the night before. I'm just thinking, I really should go to bed. This is a hell of a game, but I got a big day tomorrow. What are you doing at work? Yeah, I know. We got a 92 antiprotons. We got to move them like 6 miles. I got to call Steve because he's got to have the truck there, and I don't even know. He's probably out. I know it's his birthday, so we got to figure this out.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, but so far, everything is okay.
We're all still here, so.
Yeah, we're still here. And that is our Monday DBU that has been brought to you by Giordano's Pizza, by Russ Armstrong and Chicago Window Guys.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.